Welcome inside Rio Tinto Stadium for the 2010 USA Rugby U19 National Championship coverage here on Comcast On Demand. I'm Dusty Lister, pleased to be joined by Mike Law. Mike, we have an outstanding game set up here between Katy and United Rugby from Utah County.
Yes, we do. This is going to be an exciting match. Katy, Texas is a very physical team. United obviously is very skilled, being the national runner-up 2 years in a row. So we're in for a treat here.
What can we expect from these two teams, and who should we watch out for?
Well, United has a number of very good players. They're number 10. Well, right now they're doing a haka. It's very distracting. Yes. It's very good. But
Josh
they're number
Weber.
10. Josh Weber is very, very talented. They've got some loose forwards that are very active, just linebackers coming over from Lone Peak High School. Now, Katy, Texas, they play very well as a team. They're disciplined as well. I think we might see a situation where their fitness will get the better of them. But all in all, we're going to see these two teams stand up toe-to-toe. Neither one of them will back down.
Now, both these teams played 11 o'clock earlier this morning. The winner of this game will move on to the national championship game where they can expect to possibly play against Highland Rugby. This should be very exciting. As you mentioned, United being the two-time runner-up, this should be a great semifinal. We're going to step aside when we come back. We'll have kickoff from the 2010 USA Rugby National Championship back right after this. All right, welcome back inside Rio Tinto Stadium. Dusty Lister and Mike Law. That was a spirited haka, and we're ready for kickoff.
Sure was. You know, it's great to see these programs doing their haka. A lot of people confuse the true meaning behind them. You know, they're really meant to honor their heritage and their ancestors that have gone before them. And we have a strong Polynesian culture, whether it be Samoan, Tongan, Maori, you name it.
Well, you know, in the state of Utah, it really kind of was an unknown, and then BYU started doing it, and then all of a sudden it caught on like wildfire, and every team up and down the Wasatch Front started doing the haka, started fights. They started saying you couldn't do it in region, you could only do it at home, you could only do it before the game or after the game. It was pretty interesting. That was the most spirited one I've ever witnessed.
Oh, yeah, I could imagine. I've seen a lot of those football teams get into it.
But I mean, it was nose to nose at the midfield. So we are ready to get started. United will be in the red and black, and Katy, they are in their blues. And kicking off for United will be Jared Whippy. And we're underway here in this semi. And Katy will take control here early. It takes a bounce. And they'll be pinned deep near their own 5-meter line.
That's a great opening kick. That pinned Katy down deep. Now they're going to have to rely. Oh, it looks like they're going to go a scrum here. If it's a line out here, they're going to have to rely on a good positive throw here. If they don't get this, they've just given United an excellent chance to score.
United won earlier this morning. It was 50-0 victory this morning at 11 o'clock on field number 2. And we mentioned we'll have all the coverage from all the Utah teams here inside Rio Tinto Stadium. And that kick goes out past midfield, and now here comes United. Coming down the near side, and they're going to kick it forward. This is going to get inside the try line, and it is controlled.
Now what they'll do here is, because United actually kicked the ball into the end zone, Katy touches the ball down, which brings the ball back out to the 22-meter line, and it's Katy's ball.
And Katy will kick it away, trying to pin United back. And that gets a nice roll inside the United's own 22-meter line. Now United going to kick it back again. This is playing a little bit of the field position game, and that ball goes out of bounds. So Katy with the line out again. Katy in the blue jerseys, United in the red and black. Here comes Katy. Katy, quick pass back. Oh, and it's taken over by United, trying to pull away. I believe that was Whippy. Now come back near side. And they're going to break out into the open. He fakes the pitch, now gives down near side.
That's their big prop. They call him Shamu.
And a nice job, Sean Curtis. Now coming back with United. United again trying to get to the outside. They have some room. And pitches it back. There's not going to be a forward pass. They're pretty close. And he's going to dive in for the try. United gets on the board with about 2.5 minutes into the match. And they will take a 5-0 lead. We'll get that number on who scored. I'm trying to find it here. Mike, did you happen to see the number?
I did not. I thought it might have been Josh Weber, number 10.
I think you might have been right. I was still waiting to hear from the PA if there'd be an announcement. But either way, United takes the early 5-0 lead. It will be a tough angle here for the conversion.
That was great play by United. They just swung the ball wide. They had plenty of space. They overloaded the Katy back line by not committing too many people to the ruck. Well done by United.
As you mentioned, it'll be kind of a tough conversion on this angle, but easier if he's right-footed. I'm trying to gauge that, if he's right-footed or left-footed.
I believe he's a left-footed kicker.
And this conversion will be tried by Jared Whippy. So Josh and Jared, I imagine they're brothers.
Yes, they are. And I believe it is Jared Whippy who hasn't been able to play much this season due to injury.
And that is short and to the left. Short and to the right. Now, conversions were a tough thing for United. The one thing they did not excel in their win this morning were their conversions.
You know, but who needs them when you win 50-0, right? Can you imagine? With that many tries being put on the board, had they converted those kicks, that score would have been unbelievable.
As we mentioned, they won 50-0 this morning to get to this semifinal game. And again, if they win, they will put a lot of pressure on Highland to hold up their end of the bargain. And this will be taken by United. United trying to hit quickly. No, what was the stoppage for there? You want to explain that?
The referee awarded a penalty here where Katy's going to go for a penalty kick. The penalty, I believe he called, was coming in almost like a rocket, where you're not coming in low to drive the people off. You're coming in with intent to injure by hitting high.
So coming on now, we talked about numbers early this morning being hard to see. Blue jerseys and black numbers are not a commentator's best friend,
no, they're
to say
not.
the least.
That little white outline doesn't do justice.
It does not. And I believe this is number 16 for Katy?
Looks like maybe number 9.
Or number 9. And that kick, and he got it. He puts it through, so Katy on the board. 5:15 into the match. It's now 5-3 in favor of United. Nice high kick from Whippy. And United gains possession. They had a man on the outside. We do have a whistle blown.
The referee called a knock on there. You cannot bounce the ball forward in the air and catch it and advance it. That's the same as dropping the ball forward on the ground.
Okay. So it needs to be a maintained possession.
It does, yep. The only time it's acceptable is if it's what they call a charge down, which is a blocked kick. If you were to charge a kicker and knock the ball in the air and then catch it, that's fine.
That's fine. Welcome back. Hata Pariri had to come off the field with an injury, and it'll be a scrum. I believe this will be for Katy. Yes, it will. Okay, try and turn. Oh, and United comes away with it. This is Zane Mendenhall, and Zane now pitches it back. And United again getting close, driving toward the 5-meter line. And now we'll have a stop. And they'll give the ball back to Katy. And again, is that because he came across with high? Or?
This one was actually a not releasing call. This is where the player needed to release the player, and he did not.
So Katy will have a kick. We'll punt it away. And tries to angle it out of bounds and does so. And possession will be retained by Katy.
Yeah, in rugby, anytime you kick the ball out of bounds, generally it goes over to the other team, except for when it's on a penalty kick. Okay. When it's a penalty kick, the ball goes out of bounds, you get to keep possession if you're the one who kicked it.
So it's a good way of just gaining yardage or meters without having to run a play.
It definitely is, yes.
So here's a line out coming in from Katy. So United is aggressive to watch them play.
They will challenge you in every aspect. No easy points come against United.
Here Katy setting things up. Going to try to kick it away. And it'll be taken over by United. And again, we'll have a play blown dead. Interested to see what the call is.
Offsides. Referee has called offsides on United, so he's given the penalty back to Katy, where they'll have another opportunity where they're probably going to kick the ball down as far as they can out of bounds and do a line out.
We saw earlier today Union was not able to do this effectively. And that ball will go just beyond midfield. And will be a line out for Katy. So effectively moving the ball down the field without having to run plays. And any type of kick obviously will give the lead here early on to Katy. We're just past the 9-minute mark. I don't know that we'll have any official time. We haven't had much stop it. Well, we have the one stop, maybe about a minute and a half. United takes over possession. And Whippy will kick it downfield. And the chase is on for United. That's picked up and making his way. And it's a try for United. A very effective use of the kick. And the chase on by United. Again, we're going to have to get the number.
That was Brian Mill.
And Brian Mill comes up with the try for United. And they now take the lead 10-3, 9:40 into the first half.
Brian is one of the more scrappy players I've ever seen in my years of rugby. He doesn't strike you as somebody that's going to burn you as much as he does. I mean, everything that kid does, he has great vision, great speed, great pace, and he just makes good decisions.
And this is going to be a very, very, very tough conversion for United once again, because he came in on that far left, down the far side of the field and in that part of the end zone. This will be a very tough conversion.
Yes, it will. For a left-footed kicker to kick from the left sideline, good luck, buddy, and especially with the wind coming up.
You're hoping for some slice, and now this is the only time where you're trying to slice the ball.
That's right.
So Whippy on for the conversion. And doesn't quite get the best foot on it. It's well shy and to the right once again. But again, 10:40. That took about a minute to set that up. 10-3, the lead for United over Katy. Your early impressions this far, Mike?
Well, I think that penalties are killing United right now. The only reason Katy has 3 points on the board or has even been in United's half of the field is because of penalties.
And the kick will be taken by United. And that was number 3, Dallin Barnes.
Now you'll see there, the referee blew him out of bounds. Even though the ball did not go out of bounds or the player's foot did not go out of bounds, anytime the ball carrier touches the sideline, whether it be a finger or a knee or a foot, you're out of bounds.
So a line out here for Katy. And an opportunity for Katy. They could possibly tie this up with a try and conversion. Whippy comes with a tackle. And Katy will try to set things up. Quick toss nearing the 22-meter line of United. Here comes Katy again, trying to get to the outside. And a nice job by the United defenders of holding him up. I believe on the stop, I've been Jeffrey Ott who came up with the stop.
And the referee's going to bring the ball back, give a penalty to Katy again. Again, penalties. This is for leaving your feet. United's getting a little bit too aggressive at the breakdown, giving Katy another opportunity to slot 3 points through the post.
So Katy can pull within 4, and of course, as you come to know, anytime you score in rugby, you get the ball immediately back.
You got to love these penalty opportunities. You get cheap points to be put on the board. You get the ball back, and so it's just like a freebie.
During this penalty time, when they're setting this up, is this part of when the official keeps track of time he can put on at the end of the half?
No, this is actually game time. So there is a rule that the kicker has to kick the ball within 60 seconds.
Okay. And here's the kick, and it is good. So Katy puts 3 points on the board once again, and it's 10-6. Nearing the 13-minute mark here in the first half. Again, our halves are 22 minutes and 30 seconds long.
I believe the kicker who made that is number 10, Felipe Campodonizio. Or Donizio. How do you say that?
Campodonico.
Campodonico.
Felipe Campodonico.
We'll get that right.
That's a tough one.
It is.
It's one thing to go through Polynesian names. You get used to it here in the state of Utah.
Right.
And you get some of these other ones, it's a little tough. Whippy gets a nice high kick. Again, United will take over. Now to set things up. Whippy lines one up. He's going to drive this one into the end zone, and it will go through the back. And it will be a line out or a scrum. Is that right? For Katy.
Looks to me like the referee may have blown a knock on this. He's bringing the ball back. Knock on, and he's going to give the scrum to United.
So normally on that rule, when that ball goes through the back of the end zone, is it a choice for the team getting the ball back to do a line out or scrum?
No, what it'll be is it's going to be a 22-meter dropout for Katy, because United kicked the ball into the end zone and through the back, and so Katy gets the ball back on the 22, kind of like a touchback in football.
Okay. So it looks like it was scrum for United. United has it. Pitch it back.
Offsides there.
Here's Whippy. Pitch it back once again. He got some room inside the 22-meter line. He pitches it back. The ball is loose and controlled by United. This is Whippy. Or pardon me, that's not Whippy. That was Hubert. And United still, no, Katy took over and try to kick it out of their own end, nearing the midfield stripe. And it will take a Katy bounce, and United will have a line out.
That was a big, big kick, because United was knocking on the door to get some more points. Katy was able to reverse the field and get beyond the 50. A great play, great boot by that kid.
What's impressive is the strategy of being able to turn field position over without having to really be offensive. And as running type of plays and coming back down and being able to advance the ball in different ways to be able to help yourself out.
Oh, yeah, that's a strategic kicking game is very effective. The teams that have good kickers on their team generally will reverse the field of play with kicks quite often.
So scrum will go to Katy. Is that right?
I believe it's going to be Katy's scrum, yes. Near the 10-meter line, so they have an opportunity here.
15:45 here in the first half. 10-6 a lead for United over Katy. You mentioned Katy out of Texas. This is the national championship here, the U19 national championship. The winner of this game will go on to play tomorrow night, 7:30 in the bright lights of Rio Tinto Stadium here in Sandy. Here comes United. This is Whippy. Whippy will pitch it back. And now the ball is loose. It'll be controlled by Katy. So another United mistake. They do have a 4-point lead, but they have made many mistakes here in the first half. They could have kept the ball inside of Katy territory.
Yeah, the only thing hurting United right now is really their penalty count. They are attacking very, very well. That ball is being held up inside the maul. The referee is probably going to decide to give the ball back to United.
So we talk about holding players up and those type of things. When you have that, it's just free game. Whoever gets the ball out will have possession.
Generally, until the ball is unplayable. So if Katy brought the ball into a maul and it became unplayable, because they brought it into the maul and it is no longer a playable ball, it's going to be turned over to the other team.
Okay. So this will be United's scrum. Here comes United. United again trying to work it outside and pitch it back. Got another pitch here and then working his way forward inside the 10-meter line. Now to the 22-meter line down the sideline. Leaves it in play. Nice play for United. United driving toward the 5-meter line. Now will that ball be going back to? I'm trying to understand the signals here, but will that go back to Katy?
This is going to be Katy's scrum, yes. What the referee called there is leaving your feet coming into the ruck.
Oh, okay.
A little bit different motion. Some referees have a different motion to call that one. This referee brought his hand way up over his head to do that. Most will come across their chest towards the ground.
Then United retains possession. Coming near side, has a couple of men. Here's a pitch out. Got one man there. And it will be a try for United. And he'll finally touch down. It'll be a tough conversion, but United gets a try with 18-19 here in the first half. United with another try and will take the lead 15-6.
Just great team play from United. Look how many passes were made on that scoring attempt. You know, the great Johnny Kerwin from the New Zealand All Blacks once said, if 2 people touch the ball, good things are going to happen. If 3 people touch the ball, great things are going to happen. If I touch the ball, we're going to score.
I like that.
Yeah, he was a winger, and that's the same position Jeffrey Ott is playing right here where he just scored. And so when he's talking about, 3 or 4 different people touching the ball, that means you generally are going to have an overlap and walk right into the end zone, as we just witnessed.
So Jeffrey Ott gets a try, and now coming on for the conversion will be Ezra Herwani. And Ezra gets it's starting to drift away, and he doesn't quite get it. It had a pretty good line. That ball kept bending away.
It sure did, and we got to hear the United team cheering because they thought he had made it.
We all had a pretty good look. Most of the fans being on our broadcast positions side, everybody had a pretty good look at that ball going toward the post. So we are nearing halftime here at Rio Tinto. We will have probably a little bit of officials time. 19:45 here in the first half.
It looks like Katy has decided to make a substitution here.
And so when you're substituting, because I know in soccer you make the substitution, he's done. Is it a half-to-half type of thing, or once you come out, you're done?
Once you come out, you are finished for the game unless it's a blood situation. If you're bleeding, you can come off the field, get treated, stop the bleeding, and go back on.
Now that kickoff was dropped. And it's going to be Katy ball.
It is, because the player dropped the ball on the catch, which was a knock-on, and so he turned the ball back over to Katy.
So Katy with a golden opportunity here right before halftime. We're inside the 20-minute mark. 20 minutes, nearing 30 seconds. And again, our halftime is set for 22:30. There will be a little bit of a time because we had an injury early on here in the half, and we've also had some other official time. So a golden opportunity for Katy to get points before the end of this half. With a try and conversion, they can pull within 2 points.
That would be huge going into halftime against a team like United.
Now, United's done a nice job in scrums and other situations of getting the possession, though Katy has it. Here's Katy. The move, Katy loses it, and United gets the ball right back, just as we talked about it. United pulls it back, and it will be Katy possession. It will remain Katy possession. Was that because you didn't release him?
Actually, no, what we have here is a double knock-on. Katy knocked the ball on first. United took the ball back and knocked it on, so the referee called double knock-on, gave the scrum to United. Katy was the first one to err on that.
So United will have a chance, probably just try to kick this ball out.
I think they're going to get it back and try to reverse the field again. Look for probably number 15, Ezra Hirawani, to kick this ball. Referee not happy with the scrum. It collapsed. This is a dangerous thing, and the referees will blow the whistle every single time.
The front of this scrum is one of the most fascinating athletic moments I think that people may know and might not know about. Because how you not hit heads is beyond me. Because it is not a guided lock onto one another. It is an absolute force.
It is
trauma.
A collision, and I've played the front row before, and so I've been part of that before. And you always think, okay, I'm going to butt heads with this guy, and you do miss. You take quite a bit of impact on your shoulders, but there's an art to a scrum.
And here's Whippy, and Whippy's able to get this ball out, and this is going to drive back near midfield, and it'll be taken over by Katy. We'll see if Katy can do much. We're nearing our official halftime with 2 minutes. Or 22 minutes and 30 seconds, and we will have to see how much time the head official will put back on the clock.
Close to a high tackle there. The referee let that play.
So we are now inside of it. We're at 2 minutes and 36 seconds and counting. And here's Katy busting through. He's looking for a teammate, pitches it back, and it's errant, and then kicked forward by Katy. Katy kicks it forward once again, and now picked up by United. Golden opportunity missed by Katy. United finally boots it out of bounds. Actually, would have stopped before then.
Yeah, the referee is now called a knock-on going back to Katy. That was a bit messy of a play there. Quite a few things took place, and I think maybe the referee didn't know which one to look at.
It looked like it was going to be an opportunity for some points there for Katy on the play. And they're still going to have to set up again. Let's see how much time is given here, as we are actually elapsed halftime time.
I would imagine the next dead ball will end the half.
Katy gets it out. Looking back, here's a toss, back to the inside.
Well, that was a great open field tackle.
And United.
Zane Mendenhall is so fast. Penalty for offsides against Katy. United will probably look to kick this out of bounds and go into halftime with a lead.
Zane Mendenhall, a football product at Lone Peak High School. And now we'll do it for the first half. So first half of play in the books here in this first semifinal. Utah County United 15, Katy, Texas 6. We'll step aside. We'll have our halftime report right after this break. And welcome back inside our broadcast position here at Rio Tinto Stadium. Dusty Lister and Mike Law. Mike, this has been that was an outstanding first half of play. We were just talking about how entertaining it was to see United, who leads 15-6, leading Katy. That first half had a lot of action in it.
Sure did. You know, United is a fast-paced team. They're going to attack you on every single angle. Katy, on the other hand, you know, they're from Texas. They're not backing down from anybody, right? And so we have got two teams really going at it. United has played with a little bit more skill, and I think there are some players on Katy that are showing a little bit more heart.
Well, it's interesting because United obviously has a lot of energy. They might have the better team. We talked about they took Highland. They had Highland down in the last seconds to really be the number one seed in this tournament and able to come out there. So we know this team is very good. The question would be the moment. Will they be able to hold on in the moment, knowing what's in front of them, and a chance to have a rematch for everything on the line against Highland? And it really doesn't seem like they're looking ahead or looking past Katy. They do have some mistakes, but then more of aggression than it is being worried about the moment.
You're right. Highland is showing a lot of, not Highland, but United is actually showing a lot of maturity with their program. They're not having the jitters or the nerves that they normally have. This is their fourth appearance in a national tournament. They do know that to get a national championship, most of the time you have to play through Highland. They're eager for that opportunity because they had that so close earlier on in this season with a 17-18 victory going Highland's way in the last seconds. United is a very, very good team. They have grown quite a bit. Their coaching staff has matured with their coaching techniques, and they've got these boys dialed in.
Well, this second half should be absolutely exciting. Again, United leading 15-6 over Katy. We'll step aside. We'll have the second half kickoff right after this. And welcome back to Rio Tinto Stadium, the site of the 2010 USA Rugby National Championship Tournament. Dusty Lister and Mike Law excited to bring the action to you. Utah County United 15, Katy, Texas is 6. And the second half underway. The winner of this game will play tomorrow night in the bright lights here at Rio Tinto Stadium, home of Real Salt Lake, in the national championship game. And the second half will come of these semifinals will come to you right after this game. Highland looking to capture their 20th national championship.
And they've got a tall order for that. They've got to go through Belmont Shore, who won convincingly today. They showed a lot of talent, a lot of speed.
I am shocked at how many blowout victories there have been in this tournament with the quality of teams that are there. I mean, Jesuits played a terrific game. Just the game before this, which was a lot of fun to watch, and just to be able to see these different teams, and see the fact that United wins 50-0. We saw Highland win 38-0, and you talk about Belmont Shore winning in another big game. It's just shocking me how the lopsided scores.
You know, it really is showing where rugby is thriving in high school. Some of these programs are just that much further ahead. You know, don't take anything away from the other teams that are in this tournament because they earned the right to be here and they played through very tough competition to get here. But in other areas of the country, some of these teams really have been at it for a long time. When you have a top dog like Highland in your state, you have no other option but to get better than the best.
Which is amazing because I think if you looked at most of these schools that are here from the areas they're from, I don't know that those quality programs would be near as far as you took per capita and in all the size of the cities. Anyway, here's an opportunity for Katy. We'll get back to that thought in a moment. Katy nearing the 5-meter line. This would really make this game interesting if they're able to get a try and conversion to pull within 2 points. They had an opportunity right before the end of half, and once again, turning the ball over, picked up by United.
Looks like he's going to play a knock-on here. Double knock-on. Give the ball back to United. Again, so first half we saw this. Now we see it again in the second half.
Back to that thought, back to where you have locations where Highland and United, I mean, you imagine the boundaries are got to be close enough. Yeah. Just to think that two teams are that good so close together.
They are. You know, it's like the rivalry between BYU and Utah and their football programs. Geographically, they are not spread apart that far. And that rivalry is so intense.
Yeah.
Now, it happens in rugby as well, not on the same scale because we're not filling 65,000-seat stadiums. Yeah. But, you know, with these two rugby programs, sometimes they do compete for the same athletes.
Which is kind of interesting that Utah County United be wearing red and black striped uniforms. Find that interesting.
Right? You know, maybe they look at covering black with red. Yeah, you never know what psychological tricks they're trying to pull. Sure. But in an emotional game like rugby, especially at the high school level where it is so emotional, you do whatever it takes to get your boys ready.
Most certainly. And here's United deep in their own territory and try to kick it out. They will. This will be nearing the midfield stripe and then skips out of bounds.
Great tactical play there. A quick line out from Katy. Now they can do that as long as nobody interferes with it and the ball goes in at least 5 meters and straight or backwards.
That was a quick tackle. United, they played a lot of energy and a lot of heart. You might not out-heart this team. They have played very hard here.
Yes, they are.
Inside, nearing the 26-minute mark. And they'll be giving the ball back to United.
You know, there's a couple of players over here on this Texas team that reminds me of one of the more popular rugby players in the world, Sebastian Chabal. Some people call him the Flying Jesus because he has such long hair. You know, this guy is an absolute freak. But some of these Texas players with their long hair and their heart are reminding me of him. Much smaller scale, of course.
Yeah, just a little bit. This will be a penalty against United. They come right back with Katy. Looking to set things up, looking to get in the open field. Oh, slips a tackle. Talk about taking a big hit and keeping your feet going. We'll have that number here for you in a second, but well, right through Whippy's arms. That was impressive. Not breaking into the open field. Near the 22-meter line. And not able to slip the tackle, but near the 5-meter line to put the ball in the end zone. It goes through the back.
Oh, wow. Here comes Texas, huh?
Had their opportunity once again. Katy's had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity, yet to capitalize for a try. And coming right back with United.
Yeah, and now United has an opportunity here for a 22-meter dropout because the ball was kicked out of the back of the end zone. This is a free kick, so if they kick it out of bounds, it's going to go back to Katy. So they want to keep it inbounds, but keep it downfield.
Oh, and it takes a big United bounce inside Katy's 5-meter line. They'll finally pick it up. Pitch it back, coming back here to the near side, losing it. And now United picks it up, going down the sideline. They'll pitch it back, and it'll be a try for United, and probably the best opportunity for conversion on the day. I believe that is number 10. That was Josh Weber, who's got the try for United. I guess if you want to call it an assist, it'd be Ezra Hirawani.
Yeah, that was a great play. And, you know, it goes back to what I was saying about Brian Meal earlier. He put in such an effort chasing that kick, didn't give Katy an opportunity to counter kick it by being a slow play defense. Looks like he even may have injured himself, pulled a quad or a hamstring on that chase, and he's a little shaken up now. But that opened up for that try where Ezra could take the ball, dump it off to an oncoming Josh Weber for an easy try. What a reversal.
That was just shocked with all the opportunities for Katy, and what a kick. They got a big bounce.
Huge United bounce.
Hada Puri comes on for the conversion, and it is up, and it is good. Opportunity after opportunity. This is a lot closer than 22-6.
It sure is. And what I'm surprised about is the fact that Katy's forwards are playing so well against United's forwards. You know, United's backs have scored every single try in this game, and they are really outshining Katy's. But the Katy forwards are right there with United's.
Katy nearly came away with that, and United just trying to get out of their own end. Pitch it back. I believe this is Whippy. That is straight in the air. And coming down with it is United. Oh, behind the back pass. Here's Hirawana. Hirawana will finally be tackled. And opportunities again setting up for United. Trying to get to the outside. Pitch it back. Oh, another fancy pass for United. Coming back across the field. Fast-paced action here with United on this possession. They'll hold him up nearing the 22-meter line. See if United comes right back here. If they try to reverse it. And I believe that's Mendenhall just barreling his way forward inside the 22-meter line.
One man taking on 4.
Here's Whippy. Whippy nearing the 5-meter line. Pitches it back.
There
Again,
goes
an
Shamu.
opportunity.
You got to
for
love
United.
every time Shamu gets the ball. You hear the crowd go crazy.
And again, nearing the try line, pushing forward. See if they go with a quick opportunity here once again. I did get in. And it's a try for United. And I believe, was that Shamu getting in there?
Shamu was very instrumental in setting up that try and waiting for the player to turn around.
That might
But I
have
don't
been.
believe it was him.
Was it Zane Mendenhall?
Right here in the white boots.
So what's been also the big difference in this game, again, a novice looking at it, but the kickoffs from United, from Katy, very different, where they're much higher, and more times than not, United's come away with the kickoff.
Right, and when you actually get the ball up in the air like that, you give your players time to run underneath it and catch it, or at least you don't give the other team time to counterattack.
So this will be a scrum for Katy. We have unofficially about 13 minutes left to play here in this match. And United, they are starting to pull away. They have played very impressively here in this ballgame. And a nice play coming across and making the tackle. That was Luke Mock. And now they'll be giving the ball back to Katy.
The referee made a call there that hands were in the ruck. Now, that was a controversial call because technically, in my own opinion, there wasn't a ruck formed.
I saw Pele Tau was one call for the penalty. And I believe that went through the end zone. Well, maybe it didn't. There'll be a line out.
Looks to me like we're going to have a line out almost on the 5-meter line for Katy.
So again, another opportunity here for Katy. They have not scored a try in this match. They have been very close. They were inside the 5-meter line not too long ago. And again, opportunities right through their hands. Here's Tau. Tau past the 22-meter line. And United back on the attack. And now we'll have a stoppage. And it's getting a little heated down there, a little chippy. Katy not very happy.
You know, it's frustrating for a team when they feel like they're not getting the calls from the referee and they're playing against a team that is in their home state in a stage this grand. It's understandable why emotions would run high.
Start feeling a little snake bitten.
Right.
There's a scrum for United. And there we go. Pitch it back, and they're going to try to kick it forward. And they'll come across the field right into the hands of the player from United coming down the sideline. Across midfield. And United try to set things up. This is Tau. Hands it back, and again trying to reverse field. Running around, and that'll be been picked up by United. Been a 4-pass. Shamu absolutely lays out.
Oh, he's trying to make a splash as if we were in SeaWorld.
That was a Free Will moment.
That's right. He just had his opportunity.
The Pacific Life logo.
That was a full breach.
So some action here. And I believe it was Matai Araujo. There are some tough names to say. That reversed it. Might have been the longest run of the day trying to reverse his field. 34-45 here in the second half. Again, United has been very good in taking away the possessions from Katy. And they're going to try to kick it forward. It'll be picked up by United.
Oh,
what a stiff arm. And then again, he kicks it forward, picked up by Katy and spinning him around. And the possession, I believe, is with Katy. But it has changed hands so much, it's back to United. Try to release it back. And here comes United on a short pitch. This is Zane Mendenhall. Zane keeping his feet moving. An absolute truck.
Look at the strength in his lower body to be able to keep his feet like that.
His uncle would be proud. Pitching it back. I believe this is Whippy. Whippy hands back to the brother. Down the sideline. Another opportunity for United to get a try. Pitch it back. I believe this is Whippy. And Whippy will get a try for United. He'll down it right between the posts. And another try for United. 35-45 remaining, or into, pardon me, the second half, and United will take a 34-6 lead.
And here we go. You kind of see some of the Katy players hanging their heads a little bit. Maybe the conditioning is getting the best of them. United is taking advantage of every mistake that Katy is making. They're having great vision with that pass coming back inside to score that try. A lot of players would have tried to bounce it outside, go against the sideline, but that was a very, very headsy play.
And again, setting up a very conversion for Hada Paris.
It looks like that last big hit by Sean Curtis was his last. He's been subbed out.
They're down celebrating, and the conversion is up, and it is good. And it is good. United 36, Katy 6. And it looks like United, for the third consecutive year, will be in the national championship game. They'll have a chance, because coming up right after this match is over, the 4:30 match will begin the second semifinal to see who they will face. And, of course, all that will be right here for you on Comcast On Demand. We'll start over with United. Pitch it back. This is Tao.
The referee called leaving your feet here, so he's giving the penalty over to Katy. Some of the United players can't believe it, but he was right. And we're probably going to get a penalty here, maybe even a yellow card.
We'll see, he lifted him up.
Yeah, you cannot lift a player up and spear drive them into the ground.
That's
now,
Dallin Barnes.
If you do pick up a player and you set them back down on the ground, or if you go to the ground with them, the referee will have a little bit more leniency with you.
And beginning, they hear it from the United fans. Now, with Dallin Barnes is the one that made the tackle. Now, when they do have these conversations, just to better understand, is this part of the officials' time or is this part of game time?
When the referees are speaking to each other, they will call timeout, and they won't run the game clock here. He wants to confer with his assistant referee to see what he saw and get his recommendation on what type of punishment should be handed down.
We also have an injured Katy player on the field as the trainer will come out. That being the case, we'll take a quick break here. We'll step aside, and we'll be back with the conclusion of the second half right after this. And welcome back to Rio Tinto. We got our players taken care of. They did issue a yellow card to Dallin Barnes, and Katy will maintain possession. They'll have a penalty kick here as well, correct?
They will have a penalty kick. I imagine that Katy's going to want to pin the ball deep and get a line out of this. That sin bin, the yellow card, will be a 10-minute penalty here. So that player will be out of the game basically for the rest of the game now. So United's going to be playing with 14 players rather than 15.
And they did just that. They kicked it deep, and they'll get a line out at the 5-meter line. And again, Katy have been here time after time after time. The last 2 times they've been inside the 5-meter line, they have turned the ball right back over to United. The one time they kicked it through the back of the end zone. And
a great play.
Pitch was knocked down by Tao, but picked up by Katy and tackled just about a meter shy of the try line. And they'll have a penalty, and they'll be giving the ball back to Katy beyond the 5-meter line.
Yeah.
Call offside.
You know, what I'm really impressed with is the loose forward play for United in the second half. How quickly are those loose forwards, especially the number 8, getting out there and disrupting the play?
Now, Dan Hubert. Now, numbers, people must know, and I begin to learn, the numbers are correlated to your position on the field.
That's right. And so when you hear me say the number 8, that means the 8 man. You know, if you hear me say the number 6, he's actually a flanker or a loose forward.
So you don't just get to walk out there and pick your favorite number.
Well, you can, but I think the coach will have a different opinion.
Here's a quick pitch back for Katy after the scrum.
See, he stole the ball again. This replacement, Tao, coming in at number 8, he really is having a monster of a second half.
Picked up by Katy. They're not going to call a knock on there, and he'll kick it deep. And the United fans are a little frustrated. But they quickly need to be reminded that they're going to play tomorrow night at 7:30.
You know, these United fans really get heated about this stuff. And that ball, even though it may have looked like a knock-on, could have gone straight to the ground. In that case, it's not a knock-on.
And picked up by United. United again, another open field opportunity. Back to Tao Tao. Tao Tao coming up at the sideline. He'll spin and finally be brought down. And he'll set things up. Thought Weiser trying to make a pass. And again, just quickly trying to strike the Katy defense. And now try to kick to the outside, try to move the ball up the field. And it was caught by Whippy, and Whippy let it drop. Will that be called a knock-on?
Yeah, he actually said that was a knock-on, but he's bringing the ball back, calling an offsides penalty against Katy and giving United the ball deep in Katy territory.
41 minutes and 20 seconds here in the second half. Again, our official time will be at 45 minutes. Imagine they might kibble just a little bit longer than the 45.
See, now there was a situation where the player got dumped on his head, but the referee chose to overlook that one.
And again, big charge down the side. I'm trying to see if I can hurry and grab the number. This thing's starting to get away from the broadcast position to the far side of the field. Here comes United, and now we'll have they'll be giving the ball back to Katy.
Yeah, another penalty on United.
And quickly back down the field with Katy.
Oh.
And now stripping it away. Check it to the outside. You got a teammate right there. Looking down the sideline. Can anybody from Katy catch up with him? This is Whippy. Whippy's in for the try. Icing on the cake, if you will, for Whippy. He's had a terrific game today. He kicked the ball well. He now scores his second try of the game. And really, the game was put to bed anyway, but he puts the nail in the coffin. 41-6 to lead for United after that try. 42 minutes and 30 seconds in the second half, and United a commanding lead in this ball game.
Boy, this United team has some firepower. You look at every single position in their back line, and they all can run, they all can catch, they all can kick and pass. When you're going up against a team and every single person in your back line has those strengths, it's very hard to match up with them. So it's going to be really interesting if Highland does get past their opponent to play in this championship, because Highland's backs are basically the same. Goliath versus Goliath.
Here is Weber. This is going to be a tough conversion, and he did not get a good foot on that one. So 43 minutes remaining here in the second half, and it's 41-6 in favor of United. Wow.
So far in the tournament, United has outscored their opponents 91-6.
That's right. Scored at 50 points, and that was a quick Katy.
So that's 2 penalty kicks, no tries allowed in the tournament by United so far.
You know, we talked about the first half being as close as it was 15-6. I mean, Katy had opportunities. It's like looking back at any game, no matter what it is. Opportunities missed and then capitalized by another team that certainly leads to the score we're looking at today. Much more competitive, but you wouldn't know if you didn't sit down and watch this game on Comcast On Demand.
I agree with you. You know, United has really punished Katy for their mistakes. Another warning from the referee. He obviously doesn't agree with what United players are doing.
And they'll have a line out from the 5-meter line again.
So now United is playing 2 men down for the rest of the game. Another sin bin, another yellow card.
And again, it's the thing of you've won, you're right where you need to be. There's a time where you can stay competitive, but you got to keep your wits about you.
Yeah, you know, these kids, they have no stop in their vocabulary.
And again, Katy just being shoved around by United, and that's Tao Tao this time. And we'll have a stoppage. It is getting pretty testy down the field.
It is.
We just hope cooler heads will begin to prevail as we are nearing the 45-minute mark. And that's out of bounds. Now we are now at the 45-minute mark, so we're now into, I guess, official or stoppage time.
I think this will be a situation where we haven't had a whole lot of stoppage time, so the referee just checked his watch. I think he's going to blow this game pretty quickly.
So United will play tomorrow night at 7:30. And again, you can see that game right here on Comcast On Demand. We'll also have DVD copies available for those of you parents who would like to buy a copy of this game. We'll have our number at the bottom, 801-897-3850. Just ask for Dusty. That's myself. We'll be happy to get you your DVD copy of these United and Highland games. And again, Katy is going to try to push forward, and you can almost see that these kids know this game's over. Pitched it to the outside, and nearly could have been intercepted and ran back for a try. And now there's a whistle comes in. And there it is. And that'll do it. United 41, Katy 6. We'll step aside and we'll have our final thoughts and our player of the game right after this break. And welcome back to Rio Tinto Stadium. Dusty Lister and Mike Law. Again, our final score, United 41, Katy 6. And United will move on to play tomorrow night at 7:30 right here at Rio Tinto Stadium. They will be in the national championship game. And Mike, we talked about it at Highland this morning. This afternoon, that was absolutely a dominant performance from United.
It definitely was. They're showing why they are the two-time runner-ups. They're showing why they're the number 2 seed in this tournament. And they're saying, we're coming. We want this title.
We talked about it. They've won now in their 2 games today in this tournament. 91-6 is the combined score in this tournament. And I mean, that's just absolutely outstanding play. Who are some of the guys that you think contributed it? Before we get to the player of the game, can you talk about some of the main guys that played in their play throughout this game?
Well, I think in that game, one of the hidden heroes was Josh Weber. He did everything right. He was in the right positions and set up his teammates to really shine in that game. Now, a replacement that came on in the second half was Tao Tao. He came in to play the 8-man position, and he came in with so much energy. He had been wearing a headgear in this game because last week he suffered a concussion, and some people wondered if that was going to affect his play, but it obviously didn't.
No, it did not. And there are a number of guys. We could keep talking about people who impressed us throughout this game because so many played so well. Let's get your player of the game.
I think my player of the game has to go to Joshua Whippy. What a performance from him. You know, when you're playing alongside your brother, there's always that extra boost of confidence, you know, and he definitely showed it.
Oh, that's, again, such a terrific game. And once again, our final score, United 41, Katy 6. And United moving on to the national championship. And again, your 2010 USA Rugby National Championship coverage can only be found right here on Comcast On Demand. From Mike Law, Mike Christensen, I'm Dusty Lister. Thanks for joining us.